Comey met with the leadership and top-ranking members of the intelligence committees on the Senate side as well as in the House. But despite sources saying he pushed the Justice Department to make a public denial, he was tight-lipped when approached by NBC's Casey Hunt. Before his meeting with Director Comey, Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell again put distance between himself and the president's wild accusation against former President Obama.
Do you believe that Barack Obama wiretapped Trump Tower?
There's no evidence of that. I've not heard of it before, but that's an appropriate subject for the Senate Intelligence Committee to take a look at, and they are looking at whatever the Russians were doing during the election.
So, Julie Pace, I'm wondering, among the White House press corps, the conversation between reporters at this point, are you all focused on this question still? And what are the answers that you're getting from the White House about this allegation, besides the tweet speaks for itself, which is a backhanded way of backing it up when it appears to be a lie from the President of the United States, calling his predecessor a felon?
It's pretty amazing that this is something that we are talking about, but we have to talk about it because the President of the United States raised it, and it's such an aggressive allegation against his predecessor. In the White House, the main answer that you get is what we heard from Sean Spicer at the briefing. The tweet speaks for itself. And when I talk to people on background or in private conversations there, this is just such an uncomfortable topic for them.
But Julie, when you guys are sitting in there, are you incredulous? I mean, I'm reading your faces. I see reporters laughing. I see reporters trying to keep themselves from laughing. I see reporters looking at Sean Spicer like he's from Mars. They just can't believe what they're talking about. And I'd like you to sort of bring to the forefront how ridiculous this feels and how sad this is for not only your jobs, but for the credibility of the presidency and his press person.
Like I said, it's an amazing thing that we have to be talking about this, but we have to because it was raised by the president. It's not as though this was raised by a low-level official or a Republican on Capitol Hill. This was raised by the President of the United States, and if he is going to put this out there, then it's our job to find an answer, to get to the bottom of what he's talking about, even though no one that we've talked to in the White House or outside of the White House has any evidence to back that up. And the White House is now putting the burden of making that clear on Congress and basically punting the responsibility for clarifying what the president was saying and why he chose to say that.
And
crazy.
I think it's also important to point out over the last week, a lot of people have said, well, he's creating a distraction. His tweets are a distraction. Focus what's important. This is not a distraction. This has focused even more clearly the light onto Russia, onto questions. Now, that because of what he tweeted on Saturday morning, we've got more investigations. You have Jim Comey going to the Hill. Now they're looking into whether there was a wiretap. And if there was, were they wiretapping some Russian entity because they believed there was a relationship between the Trump campaign and the Russian government or someone in Russia? So this is not a distraction, as Julie says. The President of the United States made this accusation about his predecessor, and it's worthy of an investigation. We all believe, and what we've heard from people we talked to, is there was no wiretap. So in that sense, it's a goose chase and a waste of time. But if he's going to make that allegation, you've got to look into it.
How does anyone believe the President of the United States and anything he says and any word he gives if this distraction turns out to be a destructive lie?
I'll tell you where the distraction worked. Last Friday, a week from today, the round-the-clock news was Jeff Sessions, because basically he had been caught in either two lies or two...
So he defamed President Obama to distract...
Well, it's reprehensible, it's repulsive, but that story... Look, that story went away, and that was a very important story. My other concern is, once it's proven, if it's ever proven, it will be, obviously we know this didn't happen, does the president just go, oops? Is there any repercussion? Is there any accountability? Well, this is what the ridiculous thing, we all know it, and all of our hair goes on fire, but then what happens? What is the accountability? What is the cost of doing business for this man when he does such a ridiculously absurd, atrocious thing? What is the cost of that?
Joe.
Well, you know, we sit around and we've been saying this every morning since the president got sworn in and was lying about crowd sizes and lying about several other things. But what I'm hearing and what other reporters are hearing, certainly what David Ignatius said on our show,